it is very hard, in the face of the evidence we now have, and it's very sparse evidence, but we have evidence, it's very hard to deny the existence of life elsewhere, not in our galaxy, but elsewhere. It's very hard to deny that.
Sure.
On the other hand, we know nothing about it. Nothing.
Or do we?
No, we don't know anything about it. We just don't know anything about it.
Okay.
There may be a small group of men, scientists, who have found out something, but we're not told it yet. We do know that everything that's alive, that lives, comes from God.
Right.
And Christ said, when he was just leaving his apostles, before his ascension into heaven, he said, all power is given to me on earth and in the heavens, in the skies. And we forget that. But I'm not saying that there are human beings.
Or necessarily even aliens.
Oh, they're alien to us.
In the literal sense, they're extraterrestrial.
Yeah, they're alien to us. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. The Earth has been under monitoring and probing efforts sporadically in the last 600 years. But we know so little about it that we can't say anything about it except to save our own souls on this earth. I'm crawling on a limb there because the evidence is just too strong. But we know nothing about it. They're not necessarily human. They're not necessarily evil. They're not necessarily malignant. But they're alien, completely alien to us, and they're as far advanced than we are technologically in certain ways.
Well, some people might say that they're demonic.
No, that's garbage. The demons, you see, the demons, we don't know their number. Anyway, by the way, if there are 5 of us in the room, we know there are 5 because we count 5 bodies.
Right.
The demons have no bodies. You can't count them. The differentiation between demons is by function. By function, what they do, what they were made to do, what originally God planned and created them to perform their function. 1/3 of the angelic host, we're told, revolted and was condemned to hell. They have no bodies. They can assume certain forms, but not permanently. They don't be incarnated.
So what you're saying then is that the phenomena we're talking about appears to have a body of some type, not human.
That's right.
But it is it's a body.
Has certain functions like our functions, but not all our functions, and it has abilities that our bodies haven't got. But we know so little. I'm really crawling on the limb by saying this, but this is the evidence.
Well, we're just speculating here.
I'm not really speculating. This is concrete scientific evidence.
I see.
And I'm not speculating. If I were to speculate, I'd say, well, they don't think rationally, or they do, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're immortal, they're not. I'd be speculating, but that they do exist.
Would it be fair to say that their fingerprint is stamped throughout history, even before 600 years ago?
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. It's not fair to say it. It's not accurate to say we don't know, Michael. We just don't know. We can speculate about this, that, and another, but we don't know. And when it comes down to this stuff, you either have recourse to strict technological and scientifically based stuff, or else you're lodged into, the most amazing speculations that end up really doing the work of the devil, because they're confusing.
Right.
We do know that God sent his Son to become one of us with a body and a mother. And that he died and effected our eternal salvation so that we will not end up just corpses hidden in the ground because we smell after death. That our soul becomes God's possession again, and eventually will be reunited with a form of our body which will not suffer for the limitations that our bodies have on this earth. That's all we know. We know an awful lot about that, the grace of God and the church and the sacraments and what we can do and how close we can get to God in this life before we die, before we ascend into the hands of our Creator. But we know very little else about it. Then we're discovering that there are beings, living beings in transgalactic situations which we can't reach. We've no fuel carry us there.
Wow.
And if it did carry us there, we couldn't survive.